Hi! Today we're gonna do a sequence with the PlayPauseBe Deck, and I'm gonna take you through how I do a sequence, and then I'm gonna practice with you as well. So here we go. Here's my main deck, and I like to put out the categories, so I divide them by category like this, just to have a little overview. It's just my personal approach. You do like this, and then, so depending on how I feel a little bit, sometimes I will jump into a sun salutation, other times I'll start, sitting, and I think I'm gonna start sitting today. So I'm gonna choose some cards. I really love to have a neck warm-up, which I also think is really important. I'm gonna move to a little side stretch, and then I'm gonna have a gentle twist as well, just to really warm up a little bit the whole upper body, get some movement, get some flexibility, start to open up the muscles a little bit. And then I'm gonna do a cat and cow to warm up the spine. And then a thread and needle as well. I think I'm gonna add today. And I think that's it. Then I'm gonna include the sun salutation A. And I'm gonna do that 3 times. So when I want to do something more times than 1, I do a +10 or I do a repeat. Usually when it's more than 2, I'll do the +10, so I know that it's not just 2 times, it's actually more than 2 times. And then I can use the repeat if I want to do it for other sequences or cards. And then from my sun salutation 1, I'm gonna move into a warrior series. So I really like to start coming from the sun salutation into a downward facing dog. So I'm gonna add that one first. And then I'm gonna step into a 3-legged dog. Then I'm gonna have a knee to nose and a knee to elbow. So I'm gonna do the knee to nose first, because the knee to elbows first, because I'm gonna use the knee to nose as a transition to step into my high lunge. So I'm gonna do the high lunge, which is this one, and then from this one I'm gonna open up into warrior 2. I'm gonna reverse the warrior. And then, let's see what we want to do. I'm gonna take it into an extended side angle. And then I'm gonna straighten the leg from this extended side angle into Trikonasana, triangle. And from that one, I think I might go back into a high lunge. So I'm gonna take out my expansion deck again, and then see if I can find a high lunge. Here, they're a bit, okay, there we go. Okay, and then from this one, I'm gonna step into a warrior 3. And then from the warrior 3, I think I'm gonna do that one for now, and then I might add to it later. So I'm gonna do repeat, because we wanna do both legs. I'm gonna take this from my expansion deck. So we repeat it. Usually what I like to do is I like to do a warrior series like this, and then I will repeat it maybe 3 times, but then I might add some different variations in the last poses. So here we have left warrior 3 as the last one, but maybe once I get the movement going, the body is opening up a bit more, the next time I repeat the series, maybe I want to go from the warrior 3, sorry, and into a half moon. Okay? And then, so what I do sometimes when I have it like this, I will leave this with the repeat, and then under it I will just put half moon. So then I know I'm gonna do all of it, and then I'm gonna add the half moon. And then maybe I'll add the standing split after that as well. Okay, and then I would like to include Bird of Paradise as well, because I really love this one. So I don't know if I want to repeat the sequence and then add it after the standing split. I like to come down from the standing split, either go back to a crescent lunge or just come back to a forward fold. So I think I'm going to do a forward fold this time, so I'll find the forward fold. Let's see, where are you? There you are. So if I go into a forward fold, then I will go directly from the forward fold up to Bird of Paradise. Yes, I am happy with that. Okay, I'm not going to do it too long, so I'm going to start to try to come towards a seated and then towards the end. So let's see what we're going to do. Okay, I will definitely add, I love transitioning through a vinyasa. So I will transition through a vinyasa, come back to downward facing dog, and then come to seated from downward facing dog. That's my go-to transition from standing to seated. It's just, you know, a nice and easy and a moving transition. Okay, so we're gonna come to seated. So I'm gonna get out the seated, and then I'm gonna go straight to Navasana, boat pose. So to get, you know, some core work and some core muscles before we go into some more stretching movements. Okay, I'm gonna do both pose, then I'm gonna do a vinyasa. Sometimes I like to do Navasana and then do a vinyasa and then come back into Navasana, depending on how much energy I have. But yeah, I really love that. Okay, and then we're gonna do, I think we're gonna do a low lunge, and then we're gonna move into a half or full split. And then let's see, I think that will be it for that. Then I might add a vinyasa here as well. As you might tell, I love vinyasas, so I actually have some from the old deck with me as well, just so I know that I have enough of them, you know. Okay, so there's a vinyasa here, and then we're gonna move into some back bends. Okay, so I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a bridge pose, and then I'm gonna do a full wheel maybe, but I'm still working a bit on this one because after my pregnancy, it's something you want to be a bit careful about. And then we're gonna do a little counter pose. Okay. Then I think for now I might just move into my finishing series. So I'm gonna go, no, I wanna add one last thing, which so I'm gonna move in a vinyasa there at the end as well, because I'm gonna go from my vinyasa into a let's see, a headstand, yes. Okay, After the headstand, I'm gonna move into, you can probably guess it, it's going to be, where are you? Let's see, I have it here as well, I'm quite sure. Are you gone? Where have you gone off to? As you probably might already have guessed, I'm looking for my child's pose. So after my headstand, I want to go into child's pose. Found it. We're gonna add it here, okay? There you go. Okay. It's okay. After this, I'm going to do my very last vinyasa and come down to laying on the floor. I'm gonna do knee to chest, and then I'm gonna do supine twist, which I love, which I always have to do because it really like gives you that good stretch in your spine, and it's just, yeah, I love ending my practice with this one. And then after this, I think actually I'm gonna do like this. I'm gonna move my knees to chest after the supine twist. I'm gonna do a happy baby before it. And then Savasana. And then we're gonna move from Savasana into fetal pose before coming up to a seated and closing position. Okay, so this is my sequence today. And then after I'm gonna move it, or I'm gonna move myself, and then we're gonna practice. So we're gonna practice self-love today, which is this one. Okay, so we're gonna start to practice, and the intention for this practice that I've chosen to do today is self-love. So for me, the practice in itself is, it's basically the definition of self-love. It's the moment that you have for yourself, that you really come into your body and just, yeah, explore, enjoy, and be. But I thought I would try to add some fun arm variations to this practice, just from the inspiration of giving yourself a good hug, and the inspiration that Julia so beautifully have drawn on the intention card for self-love as well. So giving yourself a little hug, and we're gonna see how that turns out. I haven't planned anything, but we're just gonna go with it and see where it leads us, okay? So without any further talking from me, we're gonna come to a seated position on our mat. Find a seated position that is comfortable for you. Maybe there's no seated position that's comfortable for you, and then you can stand up as well and try to do it in a standing position, which should be just as available. Okay, so either you're like this, you're in hero pose. Okay, I'm gonna sit like this because that's a comfortable seated for me. So we're gonna start placing our hands on our knees, taking a moment to just tune into our breath and just observe how it moves. And then slowly we're gonna try to make our breath a little more profound. So we're gonna inhale, feeling our ribs come up. Maybe moving the hands towards the back of your rib cage. As you inhale, feel your rib cage move into your hands, and then exhale as they slowly come down. Inhale. Expand your ribs and exhale. On your next inhale, I want you to feel the breath coming in through your mouth, expanding your ribs, then expanding your belly, and then slowly out from your belly, then out from your ribs, and then out of your mouth. We're gonna do 3 more like this. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, we're gonna place our palms on our knees. We're gonna inhale as we elongate the spine. Feel like, imagine there's a string strapped to the crown of your head that's pulling you up towards your spine. So you're elongating up. And then on an exhale, tilt your head slowly with your ear towards your right shoulder as you exhale. Inhale to come up, and then exhale to come down to the other side. Inhale to come up, and exhale to the other side. Inhale to come up, and exhale to the other side. Now we're gonna do half circle. So inhale to sit up, exhale, come all the way down. When you are down, inhale through the other half, coming up to on your left side. Exhale to come down, and inhale to come up. Exhale to come down, and inhale to come all the way up. We're gonna inhale, taking our left arm over and giving a nice stretch towards the left side. Maybe give yourself a hug. And inhale to come all the way up. Exhale to come down. Inhale the other arm. Exhale, come deeper in. Give yourself a nice hug. And exhale, inhale to come up. We're gonna do it one more time to each side. And to the left side. Then we're gonna do a gentle twist. So I'm gonna place my left hand on my right knee. Elongate and just twist from the midline and up. So I'm gonna inhale, and then I'm gonna twist from here. This is a gentle twist, so don't force it. You can don't pull it, just place it gently. And then if it's available to you, you can look or gaze slightly backwards as you exhale. Inhale to come back, and exhale to the other side. Inhale to come back, elongate your spine, and exhale, twist. Inhale to come back, and exhale, twist. Inhale to come back. We're gonna move into a cat-cow. So we're gonna come into tabletop position. stacking our joints, so elbows over wrists, over shoulders, hips over knees. And we're gonna exhale as we start from our sacrum, tucking in the tailbone, moving through the spine, and maybe looking towards our belly button. And then inhale, starting at the same point, moving all the way up through the spine. And exhale. And inhale, we're gonna do this 4 times. So, 3. Inhale. Open your chest. Exhale. Push the ground away from you. And inhale, open your chest, belly button towards the mat. And then we're gonna do some free movements. So I'd like to roll. I'm gonna start rolling 1. And then here you can move into where you feel that your body needs the movement, the opening. So into your shoulders, your hips, your wrists. And then we're gonna switch sides, rolling towards the other side. And then we're gonna come back to neutral tabletop position. Then we're gonna inhale as we move our weight over to our left hand, letting the right hand glide up as we inhale. And as we exhale, I'm gonna thread the needle so the arm leads me all the way as I come into a twist. And place the head gently on the mat with the weight on my shoulder and not on my head. I can also choose to send my left arm back and do a gentle bind if it's in your practice. And then come back, placing my left arm under my shoulder, inhaling as I'm coming all the way up. And exhale, place the hand back down. And then we're going to do the other side. So inhale, move the weight over to the right hand, sending the left one up towards the sky. Exhale, threading the needle all the way through, letting your shoulder come back down on the mat. Maybe doing a gentle bind if it's in your practice. And placing your right palm down under the right shoulder. Inhaling, coming all the way back up. And exhaling, tabletop. And then we're gonna come into downward facing dog. So take your time, maybe go through, have your legs bent, moving a bit. It's your first downward facing dog in this practice, so just can take a little moment. We're gonna move through it though, so we're gonna, when you're ready, step forward in between your hands and then maybe do a little adjustment like I just did. Then we're gonna elongate our spine with the crown of the head facing forward. So if we elongate our spine, it's not gonna look like this. It's gonna look like this. Okay? Exhale, fold all the way forward, maybe taking a rag doll, taking your elbows, shaking your head, yes and no, moving through it. Then we're gonna release, we're gonna come all the way up, arms out wide, inhaling, take a nice stretch, and exhale, mountain pose. We're going to move through a sun salutation A. we're going to inhale. Press through your toes, pulling towards the ground, towards the earth, and up through your fingers towards the sky. If you have your pinky fingers rotated inwards, it's going to create an external rotation in your shoulder blades that's going to automatically pull your shoulder blades away from your ears. You hear a lot of people talking about, pull your shoulder blades down. If you do the rotation, it's going to magically happen. So we're going to do it like this. And then exhale. Fold forward without going backwards. Inhale. Elongate your spine. Exhale, fold down. Come into a plank. Maybe you want to do it on your knees. This is up to you. We're going to come all the way down. Inhale to come up. Maybe you want to do a cobra, this first sun salutation. Exhale. Into downward facing dog. Maybe you want to move through your child's pose. Coming into downward facing dog. You adjust to what your body tells you to do. It's important that we listen to our bodies. We're going to stand here for 5 breaths. Remember to close your ribs here so you protect your spine, having your spine being long and straight and not cracking anywhere. Okay. Here as well, if you're pushing through both your thumbs and your pinky fingers, but if you also engage all your fingers, including your pinky finger, you're gonna create automatically this external rotation with your shoulder blades. Okay. Inhale, come all the way up on your toes. Bend your knees. Look forward here. It's going to be easier for you to step back. Exhale, come down. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come all the way up. A nice stretch, and exhale, come down. Okay, we're going to move through it, so I'm going to talk less this time. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Inhale, look forward. You take the modification that you need. Exhale, come down. Inhale to come up. And exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. 2. 3. 4. And 5. On your inhale, come on up. Bend your knees. Step or jump forward. Inhale. Elongate. Exhale. Fold forward. Inhale. Come all the way up. And exhale. Come back. Inhale to come up. Exhale. Fold forward. Inhale to come up. Exhale, step or jump. Inhale to come up. And exhale, come back. And your next inhale, come up onto your toes, bend your knees, step or jump in between your hands. Elongate. And exhale. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, come down. Now we're gonna move into a downward facing dog, and we're going to continue our warrior series. We're going to start our warrior series. So inhale to come up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. And exhale, knee to nose. Then place your foot gently in between the palms of your hands. We're going to inhale to come up to crescent lunge. And then we're going to exhale, warrior two. Open your chest, create space. We're going to inhale, elongating and reversing our warrior. And moving into extended side angle. And then it's that hug, that self-love that we were talking about. If you have a bind, maybe you want to give your leg a good hug. And we're going to come up from here into Trikonasana. Maybe you want to add a self-love here as well. So you can do a hug like this, or we can do a hug like this. Some fun variations with our arms. And then from here, crescent lunge. And inhale, stepping into warrior three. And here as well, you want to give yourself a good hug, just for fun. And we're going to go back to a high lunge. And exhale, place your hands down, coming back to downward facing dog. You can walk your dog out a little bit here. Then we're going to do the other side. And so we're going to have the left foot glide up behind us, three-legged dog. And then knee to elbow. And then three-legged dog. Knee to opposite elbow. Three-legged dog. And knee to nose. Hover here and then place your foot gently, carefully, intentionally. Inhale to come up to high lunge. And exhale, warrior two. Have your strong warrior. Maybe also here you can give yourself a nice hug. And then we're going to inhale, reversing our warrior. And here as well we can do a nice hug. And then we're going to come to extended side angle. Here as well we can do the bind if it's in your practice, to give your leg a good hug. And then coming up to Trikonasana. See here as well, maybe you want to do some fun variations. And then back into high lunge. And we're going to step into our warrior three. So on an inhale, I'm going to step. There, I brought my mat. Into a warrior three. And here as well, maybe you want to do some fun variations with your arms, challenging your balance as well. We add something new. And then inhale, step back into high lunge. And exhale, place your palms down, stepping back into downward facing dog. Gonna take a moment. And then we're gonna do the same series, but we're gonna add a couple of poses after the warrior three. So we're gonna come up, inhale, exhale, pull, knee to elbow. Inhale to come up, exhale. Inhale to come up, exhale. Place, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale. We're gonna move now. Everyone has balance issues. Okay. From our warrior three, we're gonna open it up into half moon. Okay. And then from our half moon, we're gonna place our palms on the mat, close to our leg, and then we're gonna open it up into a standing split. And then from our standing split, we're gonna place our foot next to the other, landing in a forward fold. Then I'm gonna take my binds, I'm gonna take my right hand in between my legs. I'm gonna bend my knees. I'm gonna take my left hand behind my back, go and find my right hand. I'm gonna take my right palm, is gonna grab my left wrist. I'm gonna do a bind here. This is only if this is in your practice. If this is not in your practice, then you can practice staying in warrior three and if standing split. I'm gonna shift my weight over to my left foot, and then I'm gonna open up. Maybe I want to stay here, you know, if this is enough, or maybe I want to elongate my leg. And then gonna bend it back down, and we're gonna step it back down. I'm gonna release my bind and land in a forward fold. I'm gonna inhale as I elongate my spine. Exhale, step back into a downward facing dog. And we're gonna do the other side. Gonna inhale. Let your left foot glide up behind you. Exhale. Knee to elbow. Inhale to come up. Exhale. Knee to opposite elbow. Inhale to come up. Exhale. Knee to nose. Placing the foot gently in between the palms of your hand. Inhale to come up. High lunge. Exhale. Warrior two. Inhale. Elongate. Reverse your warrior. And exhale. Extended side angle. Inhale. Trikonasana. And exhale. High lunge. Inhale. Warrior three. And open that warrior three into half moon. Oop. We're going to place our palms down, stepping into a standing split. And exhale, place your right foot down next to your left, coming into a forward fold. Now I'm going to take my left hand in between my legs. I'm gonna take the right hand, arm behind my back, bend my legs, grab my left wrist with my right hand. I'm gonna shift my weight over to my right foot, and then I'm slowly gonna stand up, keeping my bind. Maybe this is enough for you. Maybe this is too much for you. Then you come back down. Maybe you want to open and extend your leg. You're going to stand here for 4 breaths. Then I'm going to bend it back down. I'm going to place the foot back down. I'm going to release the bind and end up in a forward fold. And exhale. Maybe you want to shake your hands, shake your head. Yes and no. And then I'm going to inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, come down. Then we're going to do a vinyasa that takes us to a seated. We're going to inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, come all the way down. Inhale to look forward, no, to elongate, and exhale, step or jump into chaturanga. Inhale to come up, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, up on your toes, bend your knees, and jump through, or just gently place your legs into a seated. We're going to do Navasana. So I'm not going to do a full Navasana because my strength is not there yet after giving birth. So I'm still here. But that just goes to show that you should not push yourself into some place that your body is not yet arrived. So if you are here, that is perfect. If you are here, that is perfect. The important thing is that your spine is straight, that you're thinking about your spine, you're not sitting here, because then you're not going to get the benefits that we want. Okay, so I'm going to stay here. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we're going to place our palms down, cross our legs, and then we're going to try to lift our bum just a little bit off the ground, like this, and then we're going to come back. We're going to do this 5 times. 1, 2, 3, and 5. This was number 2. There are 3 left. 1, 2, 3, and 5. Second to last. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Up. Last one. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're gonna roll into a vinyasa. So the vinyasa, when you're coming from a seated, you're just gonna roll through a tabletop position. Directly take your plank. Exhale to come down. Inhale to come up. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we're gonna come into a tabletop position because we're coming into a low lunge. So we're gonna aim to open up our hip a bit. So we're gonna start by placing our right foot forward and leaning in. Now here I want you to think about that string that is attached to the crown of your head that's pulling you upward. So this won't do what we're aiming for. Neither will it be too much behind. So we need to be pendicular. It's just going to drop here. So this is always going to be straight. So you see, this is the movement. This is not moving. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to do a half split. So we're going to move back. Try to have your spine straight. So if you're here, if you want to take some blocks to support you, then you stay here. If you can move further down, that's fine too. Whatever feels good for you. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, if you want to stay here, that's completely fine. If you want to try to move into a full split, then this is your chance. So I'm going to move into a full split. I'm going to adjust my legs. Always being straight here, keeping my hips square, okay? Sometimes it can be easier, I find, to tuck the back toes in to really make sure that your hips are square, okay? Now, if you want to come forward and do a fold here, then you're welcome to do that as well. Now we're going to come gently out. You're going to place your hands by your side. Pull yourself carefully up. And then come back to tabletop position. And we're going to take the left foot forward. So you're going to inhale here and then exhale to release. So we always use the exhale to release the muscle. So the muscle, it helps the muscle relax and help you move deeper down into the muscle. We're going to move into a half split. Like I said, if you need blocks here, use your blocks. If you can place your hands on the mat, then you're welcome to do that as well. Try to keep the engagement coming from your lower back without it being like this as well. We want to keep it long. You're going to see that I'm flexing my foot as well. That makes the stretch a little more profound. Okay. Now if you want to move into your full split, this is your moment. You can walk your foot gently out. As I said before, I find it easiest to adjust my hips square if I tuck my toe, back toe. And then you can untuck it later if you want to. I find that it really helps to stabilize. Now if you want to fold, you can come on and fold all the way down. We're going to come slowly out, so you can place your palms, place your fingers maybe, so that your arms get a little bit longer. You're going to push up and then get your knee all the way back. We're going to move through a vinyasa. So since we are here, we're going to come up into a plank. You can place your knees on the ground if you don't want to move through a full chaturanga. Otherwise, you can come with me here. Inhale and exhale. And we're going to come into a seated jump through or come like this. We're going to roll all the way down. We're going to come up into bridge pose. So place your heels close to your bum, and then we're going to start rolling. Start by tucking our tailbone under, rolling all the way up. Make sure that you don't have any weight on your neck, but rather your shoulders. Open up and don't push too much, but try to have a straight line. Engage your glutes. Come all the way down. Exhale. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, come all the way down. Now if you want to do full wheel pose, this is your moment. So then you can place your palms on the side of your ears, and then you're gonna pull all the way up if this is in your practice. I'm gonna stay with the bridge because I need to still work on this before I come into wheel after pregnancy and a lot of weight. Come all the way down. Gonna move into fish, so elongate your legs. Pull your elbows together, open your chest. Inhale. Come all the way down. And now you can either come up to tabletop from here, or we can do back roll. And then we're gonna come up into plank. And then we're gonna do vinyasa. And now if headstand is in your practice, this is where we're gonna add our headstand. If it's not, then you can take a moment to do a pose that you are missing from what we have done. Or you can simply go and take a child's pose. Now I'm gonna add a variation where I go to 90 degrees. And I'm gonna come back up. And then we're going to come all the way down. Now you can stay here if you want to practice a longer headstand. Just for the purpose of this filming, I'm gonna come into my child's pose. Take a moment. Internalize. Now we're going to move through a tabletop and take our very last vinyasa. Exhale to come down. Inhale to come up. Exhale, downward facing dog. And come in to seated. We're going to move into happy baby. So we're going to roll all the way down on our spine. Take hold of your knees. And then you can take hold of your feet, catching them from inside the palms of your hands, and just open up. And try to get your lower back to stay attached to your mat and really open up between your legs. And if you want to, you can stretch one leg, stretch the other leg, roll a little bit back and forward, pulling. And then when you're ready, we're gonna come with the knees together. We're gonna let the left leg sink down into the mat, taking a hold with the left hand on the right knee, opening up the right arm, and then gently guiding the left knee over to the right knee over to the left side, looking towards the right. Keeping that shoulder, that right shoulder, both shoulders attached to the mat, and giving a nice stretch to your spine. And when you're ready, come back up, hugging your knees, letting go of that right leg, letting it sink down into the mat, taking your right palm on your left knee, guiding your left knee over to the right side, opening your left arm out to the side, looking over your left shoulder. So the right arm on the left knee here is just as a little bit of extra weight for that stretch. Don't pull it too much, just feel. Then we're going to come back with knees to chest, giving ourselves a nice good hug. We're going to pull a little bit extra, roll a little bit back and forth. And then we're going to release everything and just sink down into the mat. Let your feet fall outwards. Leave a little bit of space in between your legs. Let your palms open towards the sky. Leave your fingers naturally curled. Relax your jaw, your ears, and just be. Let your breath go. into its natural rhythm. Now I invite you to stay here for at least maybe 5 minutes, or the time that you need. I'm gonna slowly move out and then come into a side fetal position. So we're gonna roll over to the side, whichever side speaks to you. Take a little moment here. Take a breath. And then use the arm that is attached to the shoulder that's facing the sky. Placing the palm of that arm and help yourself up to a seated position. You're gonna find a comfortable seated position. Then you're gonna come together, the palms in front of your heart center. We're gonna thank ourselves for showing up today, for some much needed self-love. And I want to thank you for joining me and hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you.